What is up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health, fitness, social well-being. And today, guys, I'm going to be taking you through day 2 of my powerlifting prep, and this is pretty much what all of my Tuesdays on this program are going to look like, guys. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays are pretty much bench and squat focus, whereas Tuesdays and Thursdays are deadlift and posterior chain focus. So, what you're seeing right here is my last warm-up on deadlifts, which is 405 pounds, and then I'll be going into my working sets, which were 5 sets of 1 with 450 pounds. Now, the parameters of my deadlift will change from week to week. Sometimes maybe 5 sets of 1. Next week is probably, I think, 5 sets of 2. Sometimes it'll be 4 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3. It pretty much just depends. But the point is, regardless of how the volume's adjusted, you'll be seeing weekly increases with the weight itself as I continue to peak and prepare for my meet. So pretty much what you guys are going to notice as far as my form is that I kind of tried to go back to what I did before, where I sit back a little bit further. But once again, whenever I do that, even though it feels a little bit better than starting up higher, my hips raise up to a certain position before the bar actually moves anyway. So honestly, it makes more sense for me to just start in that higher position. But once again, just decided, since I'm 11 weeks out, to play with it a little bit before I get too close to the meet and decide to change my mind. So after I did my singles with 450 pounds, I went right into my Romanian deadlifts. Now, mind you, I usually don't use straps for this at all, but since it was my first day doing this program and I knew that I had weighted pull-ups right after this, I didn't want my grip to be overly taxed. And since I use Romanian deadlifts pretty much for the sake of just working on my glutes and my hamstrings and lower back, I wasn't really tripping if, my grip kind of got shortchanged a little bit in this particular instance. So here's an example of knowing how to properly utilize a tool, guys. I wouldn't recommend doing this all the time. It pretty much just depends on what your specific goals are. Like I said, you guys have seen in past videos where I usually don't strap for Romanian deadlifts just because the weight's pretty light, but it was just to spare my grip. So then after that, as I mentioned, guys, I go right into my weighted pull-ups. Now this time around, I did 3 sets of 5 with 140 pounds. Even though I left off with 150 pounds, I kept it lighter just because, once again, usually my grips isn't already taxed and my back isn't quite as worn as it was at this point, just because usually it's like squats, bench, and then weighted pulls on my last program. But in this case, I do weighted pull-ups right after deadlifting Romanian deadlift. So that's why I just deloaded a little bit by 10 pounds and we'll build it back up. So then after my main movements, guys, I go right into just my posterior chain accessory work, pretty much like I said, just for the sake of having some type of volume work for my hypertrophy. So right here you're seeing straight arm lat pull downs, and I did this for 3 sets of 10. Then immediately followed that up with rear delt face pulls for another 3 sets of 10. And once again, guys, as I mentioned in my previous video, yes, part of this is just for the sake of maintaining and still building some type of hypertrophy, but if you notice, these also have really good carryovers just to my movements. Strong rear delts are obviously going to help me with my bench, my deadlift, and the fact is the rear delt face pulls is just a great rotator cuff movement as a whole, which is important for anybody who's lifting extremely heavy weights, especially on your pressing motions. And then after that, guys, I went into my accessory work for my biceps. Pretty much the way it's going to be is on this day, it's going to be more like intensity focused, so nothing higher than 10 reps on my isolation movements. But then on Thursday, my accessory and isolation work will probably be a little bit higher rep, like 12 to 15. So right here I did 3 sets of 10 easy barbell curls with 80 pounds, and then after that I go into dumbbell hammer curls to focus more on the outer head of the bicep, and I did it with 50 pounds, I believe, for 3 sets of 10, but it's actually just 5 each arm, and on the volume day it'll be something more like 10 each arm. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's what this day looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a comment down below letting me know that you did. If you did not, leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe, keep it simple, specific, scientific, and I'll catch you guys later.